world just keeps expanding after every quest we do. Completed 2001 and 2002. 22 full years of questing became death enough for me. RuneScape 3 Hardcore Ultimate Ironman questing through 2003. Welcome back to March 3rd, 2003. Doing a bit of fishing and cooking. But that also includes a little bit of woodcutting and fire making. So here is 48 fire making. Amazing. Well, that is the beacon near the Jolly Boar, Acadia, Accursed Acadia, and Avanto incense sticks. Been a while since we've unlocked all the versions of one of the incense sticks at the same time here. Well, that's going to be something. Or maybe not. Getting all those different ingredients together will be a little bit awkward. Of course, that's going to be the situation for basically everything. So, we will make decisions about what is worth pursuing in the future. But for now, what we are pursuing is a bunch of fish on the ground. So, that's nice. We are still quite a ways off from any of the other levels here. So, we might end up just continuing on to actual updates here. Depends how much time we have here. We still have 4,200 feathers. It's all working out. Got 20 raw trouts in a row again. That's definitely something. They are more common than the salmon. So, still though. When you're catching thousands and thousands of fish, you're going to have some RNG outliers here. So that's fine. I think we had 21 the previous time, since we didn't have nature runes on us at that point. Either way, I'd really obviously prefer if it was 20 salmon in a row, because that would be more experience and faster. I guess the limiting factor is the number of feathers, so either way. Okay, that's enough fishing for now. We can start moving on. On March 4th, 2003, a new official world map was released. And this would be the final world map for RuneScape Classic. Everything after this has been player created, either from observing the minimap as you walked around, or piecing it together from the actual map files in the future. And that is what we are going to be doing continually all this time. Anyways. Yeah, any future updates for RuneScape Classic, all the remaining quest locations, never were shown in their original form officially on a complete world map. But to be fair, a lot of places haven't been shown on complete official world maps because of all the cropping. So we're working with what we got. And at this point, we actually have quite a bit. So that's good. On March 6th, 2003, the RuneScape Secure Message Center was implemented. Now, instead of sending emails to people about passwords and things like that, it was a direct in with your account on the regular website system. So, that is probably a good idea. So, people maybe will stop giving their passwords to random emails and stuff. Probably not, though. Probably not. And it can also be used for other messages. Just generally direct messaging to the players. There's also plans to eventually have player-to-player messages in this system. But that never ends up happening. Could be an idea, like offline private messages to people. And I suppose they decided it wasn't worth the effort. Or people probably just abuse it. People claim to be JMods in the message system from Jagex most of the time. Probably better off with not having that happen. All things considered. And now, the next spot we're going to be stopping to do things. March 17th, 2003. We get the next quest. Observatory quest. We will get over to where this quest starts after we get everything together that we need. There's no requirements whatsoever. Originally, in RuneScape Classic, it was supposed to have a 10 crafting requirement, but due to a bug, it was never actually needed. So, no requirements is the correct requirements. The main requirement is the item requirement. We need 3 wooden planks, a bronze bar, and a molten glass. Seems reasonable enough, but we need to trek to many a location to make this happen. So let us get moving. Getting some runes for teleporting around. A bucket. A bronze pickaxe. Mine a copper and a tin. And that's just the easy part. Obviously, this is for making the bronze bar, and we will do that when we get over to a furnace. I mean, I guess technically we could superheat item, but we don't need to. We don't need to. Next up, we need to get the molten glass. The easiest way of making molten glass is going to Entrana. Picking up seaweed there, cooking it, getting a bucket of sand from the sand pit there, bringing it all to the furnace, and making the molten glass. I don't want to go to Entrana, and it's also a very long run on Entrana to get the seaweed. So instead, big net fishing. We can get the big net fishing and get a seaweed. Also, everything like the oysters exists now too, so that's something. So we will fish, probably drop the random junk that we get until we have a seaweed. It's not like rare or anything, but of course when we're trying to actually get it, I'm sure it's going to take forever. But now that our fishing is 77, I think we're going to do just fine in doing some big net fishing here. And we can even keep the bass for food for the quest. Pretty unnecessary, but might as well. We're here. We're here. Yeah. 1 piece of seaweed. That's what we need. There we go. I guess we can pick up some of the cod here. A little bit of cooking experience. That's something. Dropped some fish on the ground. That's okay. This is fine. Everything's fine. We need this 1 seaweed in order to make 1 soda ash. In the future, there will be more ways to get seaweed, but for just 1 here, I think we're fine. Cook the seaweed. Yeah, guess we'll cook the other fish first, since they're here. It's defaulting to the fish. I mean, we are trying to cook at range. That's fine. Might need a fire. We'll find out. Yeah, there's some nice cooking experience from all this bass. Delightful. More cooking experience. Always good. Always good. Less burning things in the future. And here we go. Soda ash. Fantastic. Let's drop these other fish. So that's the soda ash. Now we need sand. There are 3 sand pits. One of them is in Intrana. One of them is in Xanaris, which is Intrana plus extra steps, and even worse in every conceivable way. And the third is in Yanil. Quite the run to get over here. And then that's another thing that we can fix in the future. There is the bucket of sand. We need the fish in that. So we have the eventual components for this bronze bar and molten glass. Both of those need to be used at a furnace. And we will get to a furnace right after we finish getting the other item. Some planks over here at the Barbarian Outpost. Amazing. Only need 3 of them. There we go. And even though we are very close to our Doin, we're going to just teleport over there. We've got the law runes. Might as well. No, here we go. And now, we can actually get to a furnace. So that's perfect. We'll make a bronze bar. We'll make a molten glass. And then we can be on our way to get over to the quest start. Smelt the bank pin. Even though we don't have a bank. It's pretty much the only place where we need the bank pin, besides taking money out of the money pouch that doesn't exist. Anyways, 1 bronze bar and 1 molten glass. There you go. And don't need this bucket. Or really this, the tinderbox is here for fishing and cooking, so we can keep that for now. Anyways, let's get over to the new areas, because there are multiple. And this is also where the quest is going to be. The quest is in a new area. Who would have thought? Sometimes the quest just stays in the same places. Eventually, we won't need to worry so much about new areas existing. Or, I guess we could say, we won't need to travel to new areas for every single quest. It's definitely still early days here, so that's okay. Here we go. Crossing into what was previously insurmountable mountain terrain. And now it is the Grave of Scorpius. We've got a grave here, a chaos altar, some Zami monks, some ghosts. Interesting stuff. We're going to learn more about this during the quest. We can read the grave here. Here lies Scorpius. Only those who have seen beyond the stars may seek his counsel. So that is exactly what we're going to go do. Looking beyond the stars or something. Sounds like a swell plan. Up here, we have a funny little goblin settlement where they are trying to do things, being all amusing. And a very, very important item right here, in this ruined building, we get a super anti-poison spawn. Technically, this should be a regular anti-poison spawn, but that's fine. We can switch between some worlds here, pick up multiple, and functionally, it's going to be the same as just regular anti-poison spawn. We can hop worlds and grab a few of these, because poison is going to play a role in this quest. And that's okay. Decant too. Not sure if decanting's a thing yet. That's fine. The observatory quest revolves around the observatory. Here it is. Shocking. Amazing. Very cool. And we can head to the main building here and talk to the observatory professor. What would you like to talk about? The observatory quest, because treasure trails don't exist yet. Hi, welcome to the magnificent wonder of the observatory, where wonder is all around you, where the stars can be clutched from the heavens. Wow, nice intro. Why, thanks. How may I help you? An observatory, you say? Of course. We have a superb telescope up on the observatory, on the hill. A truly marvelous invention, the likes of which you'll never behold again. Well, it would be if it worked. Don't interrupt. What? It doesn't work? Oh, no, no, no. Don't listen to him. He's joking. Aren't you my faithful assistant? Nope. Dead serious. Hasn't been working for a long time. Ah, get back to work and stop sticking your nose in. So it's broken? How come? Oh, I suppose there's no keeping it secret. You see those houses outside? Up on the hill? Yes, I've seen them. It's a horde of goblins. Since they moved here, they've been causing nothing but trouble. Last week, my telescope was tampered with. Now, parts need replacing before it can be used again. They've even been messing around in the dungeons under the area. Something needs to be done. Strikes me that this visitor could help us. Stop being so rude. Although, he has a point. What do you say? What, me? Except observatory quest. Sounds interesting. What can I do for you? Oh, thanks so much. I shall need some materials for the telescope, so it can be used again. Let's start with 3 planks of wood for the telescope base. My assistant will help you obtaining these, won't you? As if I don't have enough work to do. Seems I don't have a choice. Go talk to him if you need some advice. Okay, I'll be right back. We in fact do not need advice, but let's see what advice he would give on procuring some planks. Hello there. Yes. I've got some planks for the telescope base. No. Tell me what you know about planks. How does one get a plank? Might I have a word? Sure, how can I help you? Where can I find planks of wood? I need some for the telescope's base. I understand planks can be found at Port Khazard. To the east of here, there are some at Barbarian Outposts too. Failing that, you can always try to make your own at Fort Farinthry. Spoilers there. There are in fact no planks at Port Khazard yet, and we cannot make our own planks whatsoever either. But the outpost was actually accurate information. What would you like to talk about? Observatory quest? Hi again. It's my helping hand. Back again. Do you have the planks yet? Yes, I've got them. Here they are. Well done. This will make a big difference. Now, the bronze for the tube. Oh, assistant. Okay. Ask me if you need any help. Hardcore Ultimate Ironman, Artic. Bronze should be very straightforward here. Hello there. Yes. Can you help me? How do I go about getting a bronze bar? You'll need to use tin and copper ore on a furnace to produce this metal. Right you are. That is a very simple situation. Talk about observatory. Hi. The traveler returns. Still working hard? Some of us are. What did I tell you about speaking when spoken to? So, Hardcore Ultimate Ironman Artic. You have the bronze bar? I certainly do. Here you go. Great. Now all I need is the lens made. Please give me some molten glass. Oi, lazy bones. What? I'm not lazy. Not you. I'm talking to my assistant. Calm down, old man. I heard. Hardcore Ultimate Ironman Artic, I'm here if you need any help. Thank you. Wait a minute. Who are you calling old? Drop the molten glass. Might have a word. Sure, how can I help you? What's the best way for me to get molten glass? Besides just picking up the one I just dropped on your floor. There are many ways, but I'd suggest making it yourself. Get yourself a bucket of sand and some soda ash, which you can get from using seaweed with a furnace. Use the soda ash and sand together in a furnace and bang. Molten glass is all yours. There's a book about it on the table if you want to know more. Thank you. Speaking of tables, we got two things here. Book and book. Glass blowing book. Amazing. The ultimate guide to glass blowing by Fritz the Glass Blower. I believe this is the guy at the furnace room on Intrana where you really can get your glass blowing going. I can tell you now, the art of creating glass has long been valued trade in Gillinor. Not many could get by without the use of some item made from this marvelous substance. It's within this book that we cover the basics of the art, in a hope to get you hooked on this popular pastime and trade. To start with, you'll need a few essential items. An empty bucket. These can be purchased from the majority of general stores and are required to carry the sand you'll need to make glass. A glass blowing pipe, found on Intrana, or often just northwest of the Ranging Guild. As its name suggests, this is used to blow air into molten glass. And by northwest of the Ranging Guild, they really mean Heminster. I believe Grandpa Jack has a glass blowing pipe in his house. It's a whole thing. Seaweed. Seaweed can be found on the shore in many places, but it is also a frequent find when fishing with nets. This you will need to create soda ash, an important ingredient to the process. And soda ash, made by burning seaweed. You'll need this to make glass. Other than making it yourself, you can purchase it from other budding glass blowers. With these items, you are ready to begin. You'll need to find a sand pit, and there are a few dotted around Gillinor. Try the island of Intrana, or Yanil, for example. Use your bucket on the sand pit to fill it up. Next, you need to find your way to a furnace. Turn your seaweed into soda ash by using our range before using the bucket of sand or soda ash on the furnace to create molten glass. Last stage is simply to use the molten glass with your glass blowing pipe, and depending on your level of skill, you can create a variety of items. I hope you enjoyed this guide, and please keep an eye out for more of my titles. Glass blowing. Amazing. And then we also have an astronomy book called The Tale of Scorpius. We saw his grave up to the north. So let's give us some more information for that fellow. A history of astronomy in Gillinor. It's The Tale of Scorpius. At the start of the Fourth Age, a learned man by the name of Scorpius, known well for his powers of vision and magic, sought communion with the gods of the world. So many unanswered questions had he that he devoted his entire life to this cause. After many years of study, seeking knowledge from the wise of that time, he developed a machine infused with magical power, infused with the ability to pierce into the very heavens, a huge eye that gave the user incredible sight like never before. As time passed, Scorpius grew adept at using his specialized skills, and followed the movements of the stars in Gielinor, which he mapped and named, and are still used to this very day. Before long, Scorpius used his knowledge of predicting the future, and, in turn, he called upon the dark knowledge of Zamorakian worshippers to further his cause. Living below ground, the followers of the Dark God remained until local tribes and settlements grew in strength and control. The chieftains of that time worked to banish the Zamorakian followers in the area, hiding all reference to Scorpius's invention due to its evil nature. Years after, when the minds of the kings lent more towards the research of the unknown, the plans of Scorpius were uncovered and the heavenly eye constructed again. Since then, many have studied the ways of the astronomer, Scorpius, and, in his memory, a grave was constructed near the observatory. Some claim his ghost still wanders nearby, in torment as he seeks the secrets of the heavens that can never be solved. Tales tell that he will grant those adept in the arts of the astronomer a blessing of unusual power. Here ends the tale of how astronomy entered the known world. So, if we learn more here, we can go get a blessing from the guy that invented astronomy. Or at least his ghost. So, let's continue on then. What would you like to talk about? Observatory quest? How are you getting on finding me some molten glass? Here it is. There you go. Excellent work. Let's make the lens. It'll need to be made to an exact shape and size. Well, obviously. Hence why we have a lens mold. Not anymore. One of the goblins took it. Great. Just what I need. Hardcore Ultimate Ironman Artic, I don't suppose you could find it. I'll have a look. Where should I start? No idea. You can ask my useless assistant if you want. What have I done to deserve this? They do not have a healthy working relationship here. My goodness. Might I have a word? Sure, how can I help you? Where can I find this lens mold you mentioned? I'm sure I heard one of those goblins talking about it. I bet they've hidden it somewhere. Probably using it for some strange purpose, I'm sure. What makes you say that? I had a nice new star chart until recently. I went out to do an errand for the professor the other day, only to see a goblin using it as some kind of makeshift hanky to blow his nose. Oh dear. You may want to look through the dungeon they have under their little village. Thanks for the advice. And now, we head into the dungeon. Originally, the dungeon was in here. So that would have been convenient. But it's just up here on the hill now. So we can run up this way. Easy enough. Easy enough. Climb down the stairs. Warning! Low-level players beware. Goblins have taken over, and there are poisonous spiders. Proceed regardless. Luckily we have the anti-poison nearby, so the poisonous spiders are not a huge situation. That's good. That's good. And now, this is all over here. We need to find the lens mold. And it's in here somewhere. Specifically, it's right over here at the goblin stove. They've got a sleeping guard in the way. We can prod to wake up. One shot. And then when we try to open the gate, it is locked. The guard doesn't have the key. We got 5 coins from him, I guess. Regular goblin loot. It's fine. So, we need to find the key. And the key is in one of the chests scattered around the dungeon. Search the chest. Contains a poisonous spider. So, that is mostly what's going to happen here, unfortunately for us. We're going to run all around here, enjoying the obtained goblins complaining about being lost in the maze, just hanging out, sometimes having a good time, sometimes being just not having a good time, completely lost, while we try to not get lost, run away from all the poisonous spiders. Their poison is unlikely to be very effective. Besides a few things, poison is not too dangerous these days. And that kind of is the situation with a lot of things. Especially things that were never updated after the change to the evolution of combat. Lots of things are way weaker than they used to be. Hey, there's the key. Not bad. You find a kitchen key. So that was what, the 4th chest? And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more. I call that a win. Random chest. All works out. So now we need to just go use this to open up the door. And it's right over here. Kitchen gate. Open the kitchen gate. With the goblin kitchen key. I'd better be quick. There may be more guards around. Inspect the goblin stove here. The goblins appear to have been using the lens mold to cook their stew. You shake out its contents and take it with you. Ugh, that smells awful. We should probably clean this before we try to make a telescope lens. I'm sure bits of stew do not help in making the specifically engineered piece of equipment we need here. But that is up for these guys down here to deal with. Lens mold. Delightful. Back to the main building here. It does make a bit more sense for the goblins to be coming from somewhere else instead of the entrance to the dungeons right in here. Would make it very difficult to work here when goblins can just pop up whenever. My goodness. What would you like to talk about? Observatory quest. Did you bring me the mold? I certainly have. You'll never guess what they were doing with it. Well, from the smell, I'd guess cooking some vile concoction. Wow, good guess. Well, here you go. Please don't give that to him. Last time he tried any crafting, I had to spend a week cleaning up after the explosion. Explosion? Yes. I think in this instance, you had probably better do it. I suppose it's better I don't ask. You can use the mold with the lens. You can use the mold with the molten glass to make a new lens. Alright. Professor gives you back the molten glass. Delightful. And don't craft it. Just use it with the lens mold. It has produced a small, convex glass disc. Amazing. What would you like to talk about? Observatory quest. Having the treasure trail option every time here is a little awkward. But it also would be awkward if you get partially through observatory quest and want to talk to him about treasure trails immediately. Generally, having hidden dialogue options that you can't get to right now, not ideal. You never know what kind of weird situations might arise from that. Especially with observatory quest. Because there is interesting situations with the rewards. We will see if we get to that. Is the lens finished? Yes, here it is. You may as well take this mold, too. Go to him. Wonderful. At last, I can fix the telescope. Would you accompany me to the observatory? You simply must see this telescope in operation. Sounds interesting. Count me in. Superb. You'll have to go via the dungeon under the Goblin Settlement. Seeing as the bridge is broken, you'll find stairs up to the observatory from there. Okay, see you there. And presumably, he is also going that way. The professor has gone ahead to the observatory dome. Best you follow him to see the finished telescope. Indeed. We couldn't just walk together? He's gonna go on ahead? Sure. He doesn't strike me as one that would do well traveling through the goblin-infested underground here. But apparently, he can manage. The poisonous spiders aren't a huge problem, as long as you're not messing around with the chests, I guess. They just like living in chests. They're having a good time. Living the dream. Living the dream. So now we need to make our way through the twisting and turning dungeon here. There's only so many paths to take, so it's not a huge deal. Generally, you want to get further into the dungeon to get to the end of the dungeon. And it's all nicely confined in this square here. Unlike a future maze. Oh my gosh. Well, we will get there eventually. For now, we can walk through here and be perfectly fine. Everything's fine. Up the stairs. Where we get a cutscene. The observatory. The great eye into the heavens. This might want to have roofs permanently on with this cutscene. We should be seeing like the entire thing here. Big old thing with the telescope lens and all that. We will see it. Hi, Professor. Oh, hi there. I'm just adding the finishing touches. Okay, don't let me interrupt. Thank you. Right, let's get this finished. He's fixing a telescope. Complicated stuff, for sure. Bit of a tap here. Hardcore Ultimate Ironman Artic. I'm just going upstairs to finish off. Right on. Go up here. Are we following or are we just hanging out downstairs? Either way. In goes the lens. We made that lens. Cool, cool, cool. Looking good. Alright. And one final adjustment. Moving it around a bit. And all our work pays off. Delightful. Look at that telescope. It's a pretty big one. Pretty big one. And now, we can go upstairs. Professor? What would you like to talk about? Observatory quest still. Hello, friend. Hi. This really is impressive. Certainly is. Please, take a look through the telescope and tell me what you see. View telescope. look through the telescope, and we see some stars. Yeah, 2 stars over here, 3 stars over here, smaller one under this one. Yep, those are definitely stars. What would you like to talk about? Observatory quest? Hello, friend. I've had a look through the telescope. What did you see? If you're not sure, you can find out by looking at the star charts dotted around the walls downstairs. It was... Look at the star charts. We got star charts in the corners here. So here we can view the different constellations, which is interesting. That kind of means that the stars are how they are. What if this is exactly the same as they would be? It's an idea. So the one that we got, if we look through here, is Aries. 2 stars with a 1, 3 over here. There you go. Star charts. Really fancy how they made these stars sparkle in the star charts. Pretty impressive. Magic. It is a thing that exists. Talk to you about the observatory quest. Hello. I looked through the telescope and we saw it was... We need to choose the correct option. This nice multiple pages option list. It was on the last page. Aries. That's exactly it. Yes. Woohoo. That's Aries the Ram. A fierce fighter. I'm sure he'll look down on you and improve your attack for such insight. Neat. By Cerdome's earlobes, you must be a friend of the gods indeed. Look in your backpack for your reward in payment for your work. I'll unlock the doors to make it easier for you to get back. I suppose I'll just jump down? Oh right, I'll just have my assistant tie a rope off or something. Perhaps in the future, you can help me fix the bridge. There's too much preparation I'll have to do before then. And that is quest complete. We get 2 quest points, which is correct. A crafting experience lamp, which would have been 5,650 with the RuneScape Classic calculation. Instead, we only get 2,250. That's okay. Get a payment depending on the constellation, which in our case was attack experience. And that would have been, with our 62 attack, 1,675 experience, where this attack lamp is going to be some amount. And also a sapphire. So that's something. And later, there's going to be kudos, and all that stuff he was talking about making a different path to get back in here more easily. That does not exist until 2018. So if we want to come back up to here, we need to still go through the entire dungeon. But there you go. So the crafting XP lamp for that much. That's fine. And the attack XP lamp for 875 when we should have gotten 1,675. So that's fine too. Do we really care about a singular sapphire? Not particularly. I just sell that to a shop. There you go. So now we can, I guess we run back through the dungeon if we want to get over to Grave of Scorpius again. If we cut this sapphire, we'll probably sell it for like a few coins. I guess it's more useful as crafting experience. Don't want to bother going and getting a pickaxe back to get a gold ore and get a mold just to make a singular piece of sapphire jewelry. In the future, we might have some use for some sapphire jewelry. But for now, not so much. That's okay. One of the uses it will have will be teleport jewelry. But without a bank, that's not the most convenient thing to try to use. So, that's fine. This is fine. Back up to the surface. Let's head over to the grave of Scorpius. If he's a ghost, we might need the Ghost Speak amulet. So, we will see. But let us look around here. There is the spirit of Scorpius right here. This powerful spirit seems capable of speaking to you, even though you are not wearing an amulet of Ghost Speak. Strong spirit, who treads upon my grave? I seek your wisdom. Indeed, I feel you have beheld the far places in the heavens. My lord instructs me to help you. Here is a mold to make a token for our lord, a mold for the unholy symbol of Zamorak. Return to me when you desire my blessing. That was an achievement. Unlock the ability to craft unholy symbols with the unholy mold. So, we get that. We go get a silver. Make a unblessed unholy symbol. Get the ball of wool and all that. And we can come back and get it blessed by Spirit of Scorpius here, if we really wanted to do that. So, all that information that they were trying to bury in the past about him being connected to Zamorak, definitely still connected to Zamorak. That's absolutely what's happening. Hold on to the anti-poison here until we don't need it. Didn't need to eat anything. No danger whatsoever. Overall, a simple little quest. So yeah, there you go. We will continue on to more things, obviously. A slightly more dangerous and complicated adventure. New lands, new things to see. Next time. Goodbye.